A great match. 8 second period points for Jordan Burroughs.
David Taylor, I know you're watching wherever you are, State College, M2 Training Center, in your mom's bed, anywhere you are, I will find you, bro.
Well, I know David's not gonna get tired, so that's gonna be a different monster.
Let's give the people what they want. Match of the century. I cannot wait to step on the line and go toe-to-toe with you again. Looking forward to it, champ.
I proved that I'm a contender by beating the number 2 guy at 86 kilos. Like, after who else is there? He's the guy.
All right, everybody. Hey, what's up? And welcome. We know why we're here. It's going down. It's been a long time coming. October 3rd, we announced at Who's Number One that Jordan Burroughs would be wrestling Zahid Valencia. It didn't take long for David Taylor to chime in and say, hey, if you want to really challenge yourself, come up and face the king at 86 kilos. There was some tweets back and forth. There were some video call-outs back and forth. Time has come, time has passed, and it is set. Jordan Burroughs will be wrestling David Taylor on January 9th right here in the Austin, Texas area. And we've got both of them here on the line, and we're going to chat with them for a little bit about this upcoming match. Gentlemen, how we doing? Ready
Doing
to rock?
great.
Awesome.
I'm good, man. Doing well, bro.
Thanks for taking some time. I want to chat with you. I'll start with you, Jordan. You know, after David moved up to 86 kilograms in 2016, did you think there was ever a way you guys would compete in an actual match again?
No, I mean, I didn't envision it, right? I think that this has been an unordinary circumstance for everyone with COVID, but I think that when I started to train again after the quarantine ended and I started to feel good, feel healthy, feel strong, I'm like, man, I feel like I can beat anyone regardless of weight. And so I think that it kind of presented a cool opportunity for the both of us. And I think the two of us are always looking for ways to push the sport forward. So I think this is a really cool event and I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely. David, you wrestled here back in July and immediately you called out Sadulayev, right? And one of the greatest in the world at any weight. And obviously due to the current circumstances that wasn't able to happen. But, you know, when you saw that we announced JB is wrestling Zahid, what went through your minds, and why did you immediately, you know, basically take to Twitter and say, let's do it?
I mean, why not? Right? I mean, Jordan said the same thing. I mean, we're in this unique situation with COVID, and it's created unique opportunities for the sport of wrestling. And I want the best matches. I want to get ready for the best matches. I want to challenge myself against the best guys. You know, I wanted to wrestle Sadulayev. He's a weight above me. I didn't necessarily think Jordan would want to come up and wrestle me, but when he basically announced that he was coming up to 86 kilos and wanted to wrestle, it's a no-brainer. Let's do this.
Yeah. Jordan, you guys have squared off. I'm sure you trained in the past, and since he's gone up, you don't have to tell me specifics, but just has he felt different at a bigger weight, and is it something that you noticed? Because you guys have trained together, I've seen it before. Have you felt a difference in him since he's gone up?
I mean, he's obviously a better wrestler. I think that just has come with progression. With age, he's gotten much better as an athlete. He's much more confident than he was. He feels bigger, stronger. And so he's a different athlete now than he was in 2014, which was the last time we competed. So, I mean, it's relative. Everyone gets better. Everyone improves. And so although sizes change, hearts don't. And so I still am confident in my abilities. And I think that it's going to be a great match.
David, many people think that Jordan's only taking matches right now that he knows he's going to win. And guys that he believes he's better. Do you think he's overconfident? Is he biting off more than he can chew right now?
I mean, that's for you guys to decide. I mean,
Hey, we'll find out soon. We'll find out on January 9th.
Yeah, you finally signed the dotted line. It's been a 6-month saga. I mean, it's just been, listen, every time I step on the line, it doesn't matter who it is, bigger, smaller, whatever it is, I believe in my abilities. And I think that's the biggest thing that's changed for me since 2014. You know, I was a kid coming out of college and had these big dreams, whatever they are. Jordan was pound for pound the best guy on the planet at that point in time. You know, there's no way to argue that. You know, but times have changed. You know, I haven't wrestled in a couple years due to injuries, COVID, whatever it is, but I'm prepared. And listen, this match is personal for me. I cannot wait to jump on the line January 9th and take care of business.
Jordan, he says times have changed. How do you think times have changed?
What's it? It's 2020. That's right. So the only thing that's changed is the year. Um, it's going to be a great matchup. It's fun. It's exciting for me. I think that the opportunity that's presented itself is something that we are both taking seriously. So it's I don't think at all when you switch weight classes, typically people render it like a gimmick. Like, okay, well, why is this happening? Are these guys really trying to, just get paid, or these guys actually want to win this match, believe they can win this match? But I think for both of us, this is a match that really is. A big stamp on our legacy and what we're able to do and how people will look at us moving forward. So, for me, it's a big opportunity, and I'm happy to be here. I'm happy that we've both agreed to it and that it's going to take place. I mean, we're less than a month away now. So, I've been preparing, haven't left, wrestled well against Zahid Valencia, and I beat the number 2 guy domestically, and I'm only a 74 kilo guy. So, I think that it proves that I'm a contender at any weight that I decide to go to, and I don't think this changes anything at all.
Dave, you said this is personal, right? And there has been some back and forth. Is this more personal than a normal match?
Anytime you get an opportunity to wrestle someone that's beat you in the past, it's personal, and I think just that is what it is. I mean, I don't forget the matches I've lost. There's not a lot of those guys out there. So to get an opportunity to do that again, on a big stage, that's something I'm definitely looking forward to.
Jordan, is this personal? And again, is it more personal than any typical match that you're going to wrestle?
No, I mean, repeating his logic, it's never personal for me because I think it's a great match. It is a cool opportunity to beat the guy that's the world champion at the weight class above you. Like, it elevates me and it gets me excited about it. There are not a lot of guys that get me pumped about wrestling. So when people doubt my ability, or people put me as an underdog, or say that this guy's too big, he's too strong, he's grown and developed and progressed too much for you to beat him. You may have been able to beat him in 2014, but now he's a different animal. That gets me fired up. That's a challenge. That's a shot at my abilities, and that really gets me amplified in the practice room and in my mind. So yeah, I'm approaching this match like I would approach any other, but yeah, there's just an extra bit of excitement because I'm enthusiastic about what this does for me. And so, when I was looking at who I could compete against in preparation for the Olympic trials, really not a ton of guys made sense for like getting me excited. But David was one of those guys. So I think that we're in this position now where like it's happening, and I never stopped training. So I think that we've kind of realized this could potentially happen for a few months now, and now it's finally here. So I'm just back to the drawing board. I just got out of practice this morning, and I've never stopped preparing.
Given a couple of things you just said, Jordan, he's up a weight. He's 26 pounds ahead, at least weight class wise, right? And he's better than he was. He's a world champ. Like, why is this not too much to overcome?
Nothing's too much. It's only impossible when you believe that it's impossible, right? It's for me, I'm confident in what I can do. That's it. I'm just confident in what I can do. And so whatever that looks like, I think that, for a lot of people, it means, okay, was it a victory? Is it, a dominant performance? Is it getting a few takedowns? Is it keeping a respectable score? Uh, I know what I can do. I know what I'm capable of, and I know how my style translates. I'm never going to be pushed over. There's never been a single match that I've ever wrestled in my entire career where I felt like I was outclassed, outworked, or that I was outmatched so much so physically and athletically that I had no shot to win. It just is impossible. My strengths and my wrestling abilities and my skills translate regardless of weight class. There's no one that's ever going to push me around, and nothing's going to change.
David, could you be that guy, the first guy to push him around and do what he just said nobody can do?
We'll see January 9th, right? But I mean, I think, you guys are portraying this like underdog, small guy type thing. But listen, we're at this point in our careers, we're always wrestling guys above and below us to get the best competition that we possibly can. So when you toe the line Like, I knew 100% when I wanted to wrestle Sadulayev, I knew I was giving up weight, but it didn't change what I thought. When Jordan wants to wrestle me, it doesn't change what he thinks. It doesn't change what I think. And listen, he's been the best guy in the world for a long time. So that doesn't change anything. I treat it as he's 86 kilo, whatever weight he is. I mean, 79 kilo. I don't know what this guy weighs anymore. I mean, but ultimately, he could be coming up to 86 kilos. So I'm treating it that way. And I would be foolish if I treat it any differently.
Do you think that's an actual possibility? Do you think maybe Jordan's taking, Zahid and now this match to
I'm not
gauge
coming up to 86 kilos. I'm not coming up to 86 kilos. So this is why this is personal for David, because the last thing you want to do is have a smaller guy that you know you won't get to get in a legitimate competition come up, snipe you, and then go back down. Because this may be the only chance and the last chance that we ever have to compete against each other. So this is a must win for David. I feel no pressure. I feel no pressure at all. Like, I'm the smaller guy. People already think I'm old. People think I'm on the downside and the backside of my career. I've got nothing to lose here. It's only up from here. If I win this match, I might be called the GOAT after this one. If I win this matchup on January 9th, people will be like, damn, JB is the man. And so it's a legacy changer for sure. And if I lose, people are like, well, he's too small. David's bigger and he's much better. He's a world champion now. So there's no pressure on me. I'm just gonna go out and let it fly.
He says there's no pressure, David. Do you feel any pressure?
This guy's been talking about his legacy every chance he can get for however long. I mean, this is whatever. I mean, he can say what he wants to say. I mean, you can. I don't believe for a second.
Every
Whatever.
match, bro.
Like,
Like, every match gets recorded. Everything that we do is etched in time, and people are going to go back and look at the history books, and they are going to regard us based upon what we're able to accomplish in this sport. And so, although my identity is strong outside of wrestling, what I do in the wrestling arena, I want to echo forever. And so, every time I get to compete, if there's a competitor and there's someone who's standing in front of me that's also well accomplished and that is a true competitor, like, I know who David is. I look David in the eyes multiple times. We've competed. I've trained with him. Like, he's a champion at heart. And this is a big one for me. So if I can get this one, this will be a big one. It'd be the biggest one that I've had in a long time. Let's put it that way.
And David, you mentioned it, right? Jordan, he does. He talks about legacy a lot, and that's something that's important to him. Is legacy something that's important to you?
I'm a one-time world champion. I mean, this guy's won. He's been winning for a decade. So I got a long ways to go. I'm just getting started. I'm hungrier than I've ever been. So this is, like I said, I'm excited for this match. You don't get an opportunity to wrestle guys like this very often. You travel over the world trying to wrestle the best guys typically, and now we can do that here domestically. And we're fortunate in the United States. Obviously, we got a lot of great competitors, some generational talent. So when you get a chance to toe line with those guys, I mean, you get excited. This is the most excited I've been about training in a while. I was excited to get back March 15th and wrestle and qualify the weights. I was super excited to wrestle Miles this summer because it was the first time I had wrestled in a while. And I think I carry a lot on my plate, more than probably most guys do, and that that was a learning lesson in my last match when I wrestled Gabe. And now this has been able to kind of really refocus and get really excited for something. And that's typically good things happen when that happens.
Sure. Jordan, you're 4-0 against David Lifetime. You're 7-1 against Kyle Dake, who's kind of had David's number. Do you think that could have an effect on his head at all?
Absolutely. Anyone who's beaten you in the past, there's always a little inkling of doubt that you always carry around with you. So yeah, he's supremely confident. He's a much better wrestler. His preparation is impeccable. He lives his lifestyle the right way, but there's always going to be a little bit of an inkling of doubt because he knows what I'm capable of. He knows that I'm going to keep wrestling the entire 6 minutes. He knows that I can snap and run corners quickly. He knows that if he misses a shot, I'm going to be reattacking on his legs quickly. So there's a lot of things that he has to think about and prepare for that he really hasn't had to do in the past. You go into a match, like let's say his last match with Gabe Dean, there's a much different preparational phase. He's like, I just got to kind of open this guy up, keep my hands on him, eventually get to him, and I'll score. And I'm confident that I can kind of ride this wave out. But I think he knows that if he misses an attack on me, there's something different coming on the backside than a guy like Dave Dean. And so, yeah, it's just going to be a little different. But again, for me, it's the same thing, right? He's a little bit bigger, right? I have to approach this differently. I can't just shoot as openly. I don't want to get caught underneath. I have to really utilize my angles and my speed to be effective in this matchup. So I think there's going to be some strategic uh, thoughts that we're going to have to bring into this match. But again, when you're wrestling someone that you've lost to in the past, there's always going to be just a little ounce of doubt and just a reluctancy in the way that you approach it. So I'm looking forward to the matchup. I think that there's some things that I can exploit because he is a bigger guy, bigger and stronger. But again, the bigger the wrestlers are, a little bit slower they are typically. So I think that there's some points that I can get to and score.
David, when Jordan wrestled Zahid, he went down 4-0 early, and he did use all the techniques and the tactics and everything else, but a lot of it seemingly was conditioning, right? He kind of wore Zahid down. Do you think he has? Have you ever been worn down? And do you think Jordan has what it takes to wear you down?
Have I been worn down? I mean, yeah, for sure. I get tired every single match because I wrestle the hardest pace in the world. So, I mean, Jordan knows that. And listen, 6 years ago, if I was worried about a loss I had 6 years ago, then I wouldn't be able to perform the way that I do now. So,
Yeah, that's true.
it, it, I mean, uh, I'm excited, but regardless, the history is what makes it exciting, right? I mean, the matches that we've had in training camp, that's what makes it exciting. Jordan, when I went up in weight class, it gave us the opportunity to train more, right? And I think we were never trained that way. And I think when we wrestle each other, good things happen for each other. And this is really where we're at, right? We both want to make Olympic team. We both want an Olympic gold medal. And this match is something that we're both going to be excited about. And there's really that is what it is.
Jordan, do you have what it takes to wear David out, or will you need to wear him out?
That's a good question. I don't know, bro. It's going to be an interesting matchup. I couldn't really have predicted the matchup with Zahid and how it was going to transpire. I'm never looking to go out and give up two takedowns right away and be down 4-0 at the break. But, I'm always going to give my best. That's really all I can give. So I don't know the way the match is going to be laid out. I would love to say that I had like a blueprint for the exact transcript of the way that things will go. But, I think that both of us aren't afraid to wrestle. We're not afraid to allow the fur to fly a little bit. And I think that is what makes this a great matchup. And that's what makes us two of America's favorite wrestlers, is that we're just going to put it all out there on the line, score as many points as possible, try to get our hand raised, and we're going to entertain in the process. I really think that's all you can ask for from a wrestling perspective. We're two of the biggest names in the sport, two of the most well-known wrestlers in the entire world, and we're squaring up. Like, this never happens. I don't think people even have the confidence to make it happen. People that would never go down because they would think that they had too much to lose, and people would never go up because they'd be afraid to get injured. I think we are two of the individuals in wrestling that are concerned more about what it does for the sport than what it does for ourselves as individuals. And so I think that that's why we're here, and I think that's why this is going to be a great match. It's really a historic, legendary matchup if you think about it. Like, on the freestyle scene, when does this ever happen? Like, when does world champs at two different weight classes ever meet up at still relatively different weight classes? You know what I mean? Like, where it's not a guy's moving up officially and long term. Like, just doesn't happen. This is the first of its kind, and this is really going to be a game changer. And I bet moving forward, we will see a lot more of this afterwards. But the cool thing is that David and I will always be the pioneers. We'll be the originators of this process.
And Jordan, you're going straight up to 86 kilos. When you wrestled Zahid, I think it was 185 was the weight. 86 kilos, I believe, is right around 189. Why were you just like, whatever, fine, let's do it, up at his weight?
Well, mainly because David didn't want to go down any further. That's probably it. But, I understand it. I respect it. He's a 86 kilo, and so he doesn't want to go down underneath of a weight class that he competes at. And so, respectable. If I was wrestling a guy that was smaller than me, I probably wouldn't go down under 74 kilos either. But also, again, like, 4 or 5 pounds is not going to be the definitive moment in a match. Like, it's not like, oh damn, I felt that extra 2 kilos, I couldn't get through this attack. Like, it really doesn't make doesn't make a difference. We've competed at training camps when neither of us have been on weight, and I think that this is just another matchup.
Well, it's just another matchup, kind of, but it's like you said, it's one of the biggest matchups that you can think of at this time. David, or either of you guys, but I'll start with David. Does this And you guys, I know you've wrestled in big matches your whole life. Does this feel any different? The excitement or the nerves or whatever you want to call it, that this match is basically, this whole card is being set up around this one match. David, I'll let you go first.
Well, I think in a year where we didn't get the big event, right? I mean, there's no World Championship. It got delayed or canceled, whatever they're doing with that thing. The Olympic, I mean, the big thing, the Olympic trials, right? The Olympics, they weren't here. So this is the probably, I mean, I can't speak for Jordan, but for myself, I mean, this replicates that. And when Jordan called me 6 months ago, butter me up and see what was going on to race to see if we wanted to wrestle, I was like, yeah, absolutely. I'm in, 100%, and for that reason.
You did say that.
That was the whole point of the plan was like, yeah, let's do this. And it gives us a chance to like wrestle a big match that we're both excited for. So, like I mentioned earlier, I'm excited. I'm taking training, as serious as I ever do, but definitely being able to peak and get ready for something.
All right, we got 3 minutes, then we got to cut it because I know you got practice. I don't know. Can we get a prediction from you guys, either how it might go or what the final score is, or I assume you both believe you're going to go in and get your hand raised, but high scoring, low scoring? What are we thinking here? What's it going to look like?
That's a good question. I think it really depends on David's approach. Again, I'm like a chameleon in the wrestling mat. So like, however he approaches it, if he comes out trying to hammer me right away, I think that I could see, us scrapping early on, me holding position, maybe him getting a takedown or so, but, him wearing out eventually and me getting to a few late. It depends. If he comes out fast, I think that I win like 7-3. If he comes out slow, kind of tries to control the pace, slow the match down a little bit, I think that I win still, but maybe a little closer, maybe like 5-4.
David, what do you think?
I mean, that's quite the prediction. I mean, I know one speed, that's let it rip, and I'm not afraid to get tired. So he better prepare for that. I'm going to continue to shoot. I don't care about you running corner or getting a takedown or 2 takedowns. It's going to take 3 takedowns to beat me. So there's no,
That's
in my
easy.
mind, the only way this match is low scoring is if Jordan wants to engage and kind of back corner and run to the edge and try and wrestle the match there, which I think is probably going to suit him the best. If he wants to stay in there and exchange back and forth, if he shoots, I'm scoring. If I get my hands locked on his leg, I'm scoring. And I just think it's just a matter of getting to those attacks. But has nothing to do against Jordan. That's just how I feel against any opponent that I wrestle against. And that's not really an overconfident statement. That's just the way that I believe when I step out there on the mat. And this is no different.
All right. Guys, we got about a minute and a half left. I'll let you get the final word. Since David just spoke, Jordan, I'll let you go first.
Yeah, man, January 9th, it's going to be an epic matchup. Super excited about it. David, thanks for signing on, man. Looking forward to it. Happy birthday, by the way. Hey, listen, David's 30, bro. I'm 32. I'm only 2 years older than this man. I'm not the only old guy in wrestling. And so I think it's going to be a really cool battle. Really looking forward to the rest of the cards. And yeah, let's do it. Let's scrap.
All right. Cool. David, you got anything for us before we let you go?
No, I'm excited. Let's do this.
Awesome. Jordan Burroughs, David Taylor, really appreciate you guys taking some time to chat with us today. It goes down January 9th right here on FloWrestling. We'll see you guys then. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you, guys.
All right. You bet.
Thank you, guys.
All right. And everybody else, stick around because we got a couple quick announcements too. Some fun things happening here on FloWrestling. We do Flow films, and there's one guy who we just haven't been able to do a film on yet, and that's Dan Gable. Well, things have changed, and a little bit different way of doing it. Instead of us making a Flow film about him, we have acquired one that aired on HBO back in 1999. And this is going to be dropping on FloWrestling December 30th. So check it out. We'll give you a little taste of it right now.
When you talk about the greatest coaches of all time, you have to talk about Knute Rockne of Notre Dame in football, Johnny Wooden of UCLA in basketball, and Dan Gable of the University of Iowa in wrestling. and they occupy a plateau that nobody else has ever reached. And it's because they understood the two great elements of coaching, the work ethic and reaching into the souls of the athletes under their care.
Yeah, very excited about that. And I actually remember watching this. It had to be on HBO, probably close to 20 years ago. And I've obviously seen it since. It covers the entire life of Dan Gable, from his childhood growing up in Waterloo to his family and his sister, into his competitive years, wrestling, into high school and college, beyond, into coaching, into the Olympics. It runs the full gamut, and it kind of follows him and the Iowa team through 1997, his last season coaching the Hawkeyes. I'm really excited for this one. It's over an hour long, and it's pretty in depth. So look for that. Again, that's going to be dropping on December 30th right here on FloWrestling. And the last thing, it got announced just a little bit earlier today, I believe it was, but a week from this Friday, December 18th, we have our 150-pound 8-man tournament, and the brackets are out. The bracket, there's not plural, it's one bracket. We'll pull it over and show you it on the screen here, and there you go. You got it seeded. Your top seed, Bajrang Punia. Your number 2 seed on the bottom, James Green. Jordan Oliver has the 3. McKenna has the 4, and there you see the matchups. First place, $25,000, 15 for second, 10 for third, $5,000 for fourth place, and everybody that shows up will earn $1,000. Again, that's going to go down on December 18th right here on FloWrestling and be in the Austin, Texas area. And that's going to do it for today's show, this evening's special show. Really excited, again, for Jordan Burroughs and David Taylor to be squaring off January 9th. It's the match of the year, match of the century. I don't know the last time we had a match this big. We're super excited. Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. We will see you soon.